We'll simply make it through these two, and then you guys will have time to work on your assignment from yesterday, okay? No new assignment today, nothing new, okay? This looks like a challenging problem. A lot of people see this and they start to shut down. They say, I don't know where to begin. That's where I pose to you, what if it looked like this? B squared minus 2b minus 3. Similar, but different. I just put the b in instead of what? Instead of that parenthesis thing of a squared plus 2a, I just put b right there. You okay with that? This isn't the real problem. I'm doing a problem that, because I don't know how to do this yet. So I'm going to do an easier one, and maybe that will teach me how to do the more difficult one. Okay? This is a strategy in mathematics. I'm not making it up. When I try problems, sometimes I'm like, I need to try an easier one first. So this one factors, doesn't it? So what? Oh, wait a minute. That was way too easy. If this factors like that, then this should factor just the same, right? But instead of writing b, what should I write? A squared plus 2a, right? So I'm going to factor it just the same. I'll have a minus 3 and a plus 1 because negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and negative 3 plus 1 is my negative 2. In this situation, I had b times b, but in this situation, I'll have a squared plus 2a and a squared plus 2a. It's okay to ask a question if you didn't quite get that. This is a challenging problem. If I take a squared plus 2a times a squared plus 2a, I get a squared plus 2a squared. See, it's all there, isn't it? It's just, in our minds, we're not used to seeing this binomial sitting there. We like just one term. So I get that it's challenging to see through that, okay? Well, if I just drop off those parentheses because they're really not doing anything, then I have this. Does that trinomial factor? What? Does this factor? A plus 1 times a plus 1, which is a plus 1 quantity squared. Okay. The last class, somebody raised their hand at this point. Mr. Gantz, where did the b come from? I just made it up. Okay, this was just to help me. This isn't the real problem. This is just to help me do this. I thought about something else, so I would be able to do that. Okay, any questions on that before I set that aside? If you ever go through a problem in class, you're like, you know what, I don't know if I could do that again. Try it later. Okay, write it down and try it on your own and see if you could do it. It's a great way to see how well you understood the material or not. Okay, we're going to go back to M right here. And for problem number M, I just need a little bit more space. We have x plus 1, or just write 1 plus x. How did I write? Okay, 1 plus x to the negative 2/3 times x. Is it minus? Plus 1 plus x raised to the 1/3 power. Okay, so I'm supposed to factor that. That, again, looks somewhat absurd. Looks rather frustrating, rather difficult. How would I factor that? So I'm going to, again, just make an easier problem. Now look at this one. A cubed plus b to the 5th. Whoop. A cubed plus a to the 5th. If I want to factor that, what do I take out? A cubed. And I'm left with? Right. Or you could write a squared plus 1. But for this purpose, we'll just write it like that. Great. No big deal, right? So there's a common factor we took out. Let's think about what we did. Okay, when we factored something out, did we take the bigger power or the smaller power? We took the smaller power. So sometimes the smartboard can't keep up with our level of difficulty in mathematics. And there it goes. Yep. Just can't handle it. Okay, you're back with us, buddy. Smaller exponent. Okay, so that's step number one. Whenever we look to factor something, we choose to take out the smaller of the exponents. Second of all, you got the squared because you did the bigger exponent minus the smaller exponent, right? Okay. Now you're like, Mr. Gantz, I already knew how to do that. Great. Yeah, I know you know how to do that, but you don't know how to do this. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves of what we're doing so that we can figure out how to do something more difficult. So I'm going to take something out. What is the smaller exponent? Negative 2/3. Because we define smaller in mathematics, in this situation, we're not talking about absolute values. Further to left on the number line. So if we had a number line, you know, which one's further to the left? 1/3 or negative 2/3? It's negative 2/3. So that's less than the other one. Less than the other one. So I'm going to take out a 1 plus x to the negative 2/3. That's what I'm going to take out because it's the smaller. If I take it out, what's left here? I have the x, right? Now you might say, how in the world do I take an x to the 1 plus x to the negative 2/3 out of that? Well, just like you took an a to the third out of an a to the fifth, we subtracted the exponents, right? 5 minus 3 gave us the 2. So I'll do the bigger one minus the smaller one. Which one's bigger, the 1/3 or the negative 2/3? So I'll do 1/3 minus negative 2/3. Yeah, that's 1. So if I take that out, I'm left with to the 1 power. What's 1 plus x to the 1 power? Yeah. Can I combine like terms here? Yeah, so I have 1 plus x to the negative 2/3 times 2x plus 1. And thus it's factored. Question. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. All right. We took an a to the third out, and you're left with 1, right? Because a to the third times 1 is a to the third, right? Here's another way to think about this. If you took an a to the third out, you're really left here with an a to the 0, correct? Okay. You took 3 minus 3, and you got a to the 0. So you're subtracting your exponents. Okay. The a is still there. It's just to the 0 power. Here, I have an a left over. It's not to the 0. It's to the 1. And therefore, it still remains. I know it's tricky. I know it looks strange. It looks odd. You haven't seen this before. You have two options to write this. Number one, you could write it like this. Because it says factor, I know that most of you would say, well, we shouldn't have negative exponents. And so you might write as 1 plus x, that quantity to the 2/3 power. Your book, sometimes it leaves it like this because when we factor stuff, sometimes we do leave a negative exponent. But traditionally, we like to leave it without a negative exponent. Okay? How's that? You have the rest of the hour to work, folks. Okay? You go do that. So, please grab a pass. A lot of people the other hour use their Chromebooks. It's up to you guys. If you go to my website, the book pages are there. However you'd like to view the book. If you'd like to grab a book back from there, if you'd like to look on your Chromebook, however you want to do it, that's up to you, okay? I'll come around and help you.